Hello, welcome back to WoodWorks. Last week we looked at putting together a sharpening kit. Today I'm going to show you how to use that sharpening kit, just very basically sharpening a couple of chisels. I'll give you a rough idea of what to look for and what we need to be doing to get a rough sharpening so that you've got a nice cutting edge. It's not really that hard, and we've narrowed it down from using diamond stones or Japanese waterstones to just being done with an oil stone, which, as I said before, I sort of tend to prefer, and obviously for you guys it's going to be a lot cheaper, a lot easier to pick up a sharpening stone such as an oil stone rather than a diamond stone. So we're going to start by mounting the chisel into the honing gauge. Now I think if you remember, I said to you there was two different sets of dimensions for this. So we're going to start with the chisel, and as you can see the chisel sets into the bottom of the gauge. Click that in so it fits in place. The dimensions that are on the side of the honing gauge are set up onto a wooden block. So I've marked out a wooden block, as you can see, that will give you those dimensions. So we're looking for the one for chisels, and we're just going to touch up the 25 degree. So we're going to turn it over, we're going to find the one for the 25 degree, which is the longer of the two. And we're going to tighten that up, and that is up to the line. That's our 30 degree line. See, so bring it up, and that is now set. So the first thing we need to do is remove the strop, and we're going to use the oil stone. Now I did say to you that I tend to use thinner oils, so I'm going to use a little drop of 3-in-1 on. We're just going to spread that down the middle of the stone. Then we're going to use a little drop of WD-40 on top of it. Now that keeps it nice and thin. We're just going to give that a little mix on the top there to make sure that we're cutting at the right angle. On the front of the chisel, you just run a black marker pen over it. By doing that, we can see where we're actually cutting on the stone, whether we're cutting to one side or whether we're cutting square. So we just black that out with a marking pen, and then when we set that on our stone, just a couple of draws across the stone, and we can see how close we are to our angle and where we're cutting, and that is absolutely perfect. As you can see, holding the chisel and the honing gauge, put 2 fingers on there, 2 on there, and then by just running the chisel backwards and forwards across the stone, try and use as much of the stone as you can, and that way you won't dish the middle of your stone. So a couple of goes across that, just give it a wipe off, and that's got a nice even level edge. Okay, so that's our 30 degree cut. The next cut that we need to do is on the back of chisels, especially on new chisels. When you're using a new chisel, the back of the chisel you will find might have a hollow in it. Now that can cause problems with your edge. If it's out, you're not going to get a good edge. So again, just across the back, and this will tell you roughly where the dip in the back of the chisel is. You only need the top ½ inch or so, like that. Again, if you put that on there, flat on there, and you press it flat down onto the stone, give that a quick go over the back. Now at the moment I'm just using the fine side because these chisels have been done before, but this will actually just show you roughly where it is. So you've got a nice shine on there. As you can see, that side's slightly low, that side's slightly low. The high spot is in the middle. Majority of the time the high spot will be around that top section there. We just keep going away at that for a minute. If we do that, that should give us a nice flat on the back of the chisel, which means when we put the 30 degree edge on, which is the cutting edge, we're not going to be taking a lot of the metal away from the chisel. We're coming down to a finer edge. So as you can see, high spot is there, and these are low spots around the outside. So this one has actually gone the other way, so we need to just work at that a while until we get nice even flat back on there. And again, That's it, that's flattened it off. Okay, so now what we do is we just put that onto there, hold it flat, and just a very, very minute, less than 1/4 millimetre, and then just drag it down once just to put a back edge on it. Okay, so now we'll set this up for the 30-degree cut, which is your cutting edge. We'll set that again into the honing guide as before. Now you can flat the back of the chisel before you even do the 25 if you want. Give that a little tap down to the 30-degree line. And there we go, we're down to our 30-degree line, as you can see there, which gives us the right distance from the point to the face of the gauge, which gives us our correct angle. So we just hold that in tight, lock it in, and what we now start to do is put the sharp edge on. So again, holding the tip down, and we draw our edge. Now if you run your finger across the back, you should start to feel a curl on the back of it. It needs just a little tiny bit more, so let's give that a bit of a harsher cut. And as the metal filings build up on the stone, just every so often give it a wipe off. Another little spurt of WD, a couple of drips of oil. Again, by doing that it keeps your stone a lot cleaner and you'll cut a lot faster. As you can see, they're starting to put the edge on. You can feel that, you can feel the curl. You run your finger out the back, you'll feel like a little rough edge, that's a curl. And that is the material from the chisel, the metal from the chisel actually folding over to form your sharp edge. So once you've actually achieved that curl on the back, that's the time to just, again, just run the chisel flat on the back, running it flat long ways, that will take the curl off the back. Okay. And now we can start to feel an edge on it. If we remove that from the honing guide, we'll give the chisel a little wipe off, take the grime off of it. You don't need massive edges on it, you just need to literally just put a very small edge on it just to give you enough of a cutting edge. Just remember, every time you sharpen it, you're taking a lot of your chisel away, you're taking metal off the chisel. So now what you need to check, when you're sharpening, you can tilt the chisel slightly to one side or the other, which might give you an angle across your chisel. You need it square, so just take a little gauge, slide it up, and check across the top, and yep, that's nice and square. To finish the chisel off, we're going to bring in our leather strop, which was, like I said before, a piece of leather belt, anything like that. You can actually buy a leather strop. Use that with a little bit of the green cutting compound, and what we'll do is we'll just drop a little bit of cutting compound across the top of the leather. With that compound on there, we'll now actually take the burr off the back with some quick strokes across the back. Very, very firm strokes, and that will give a nice fine edge. About 20 or 30 times across there, and then what we do is we turn it around and hold that, and we just same across the back. Now if you can't get a leather strop, there is enough way to take the extra curl off the blade, and that is literally just with a small piece of wood just across the edge, and so just very lightly just drag it across the edge just to take the curl. Now that is really, really sharp, and what we're going to do, you can see, I can show you with it. So as you can see, that's how to sharpen chisels. Just very quickly, very easily. You haven't got to be overly fussy, but that will give you enough of a sharp edge, very sharp edge, for your cutting. You've not got to start hitting it too hard with hammers, or which is something I actually detest. You shouldn't be hitting it with a mallet. You should, once you've actually got it that sharp, be able to cut a piece of timber quite easily without too much of a problem. Mind your fingers. That's our chisels. So that's how we sharpen a chisel. In the next video, I'm going to show you very quickly how to sharpen a plane blade, which is slightly different. There's various ways of sharpening. So I'll show you those very quickly in the next video. See you soon.